Gump goodness. Here is your first video of the Gump goodness pack. I don't know what else to call it. If you've seen the overview video I put out, it talks about I got 5 videos coming out. One of them is Vince McMahon, Nikki Bella. This is Jonathan Gresham. But also I did talk about a video that you saw just before. That was an animated video that I produced for somebody's birthday. Hopefully you don't get like, oh, he's doing anime stuff. No, it's just something I could not put on my anime channel because it's not working anymore. Unless I can fix it, it's just dead. But this is about Jonathan Gresham. Okay, I was told by somebody that Jonathan Gresham supposedly got sick at first. I mean, they did say the stroke. Got sick, but had 2 strokes. And then is supposedly going back to wrestling a few days later. That is what they reported. But what I found across 3 sites is this. Jonathan Gresham had been home, and out of nowhere, he couldn't function. Half his face and his body, his left side of his face and his body was not functioning. He couldn't move or anything. He couldn't talk, he couldn't move. He said it took 30 minutes before he can dial 911, and then they picked him up, took him to the hospital, and when he woke up, because he was out, he could not function. They told him, and also Jordan Grace, he said, who rushed to his side. She was home from what I can understand. She rushed to his side, well, went home, rushed to his side, checked him, and she told him and showed him a picture because she said, well, he said that she took a picture of him, what he looked like, because he couldn't believe he had 2 strokes. He couldn't believe it. But she showed him a picture of what he was like when he had the 2 strokes. Now, I want to say this for myself. I've never hit it. Back around 2016, I had Bell palsy. I was very lucky. The doctors thought, well, the doctor, my regular practitioner doctor, when this happened, she thought I had mini strokes. But then when I explained the symptoms, she said, wait a minute, you had Bell palsy. And she told me because at the time, this side of my face was like this. For several weeks to at least a month or 2 easily. Before, luckily, as you can see, I can function. Sometimes I do have a problem like this. My eyes don't work always right. Sometimes this eye will just go like this, like do that because the muscle, if you don't know Bell palsy, when you get it, it almost simulates a stroke. But it's just your face gets paralyzed and it doesn't function. JR had a stroke for his, well, not stroke, but Bell palsy for his entire face. That's why he goes like this. He can't use his face because his entire face was paralyzed. I was lucky. I'm not saying Jonathan Gresham had Bell palsy because it was his entire body. But the person who left, and you know who you are, he speculated that it might have been steroids. No. This is what the doctors told him. The doctors speculate because they gave him a full battery of tests. He's clean. He does not have any signs of stroke. None. So they determined, because they found out several weeks, 2 or 3 weeks before, he had COVID-19. Now, you guys know how COVID-19 acts. Look what happened with Keith Lee. Keith Lee, legitimately, Keith Lee had inflammation around his heart, and that was due to Bell palsy. Several other people had weird symptoms due to Bell palsy. I had COVID-19, and ever since then, my stomach acts more worse than it normally does. Bell palsy attacks certain parts of your anatomy. So in his case, from what they see, because he has no stroke, and it was not Bell palsy because Bell palsy only affects the face. That's it. So they believe it was due to COVID-19. He's perfectly fine. They didn't show any information about him having steroids or anything. As far as they can tell, it was COVID-19. Now, could something else come out and say that it wasn't? Of course. Look what happened with Britt Baker. If you guys remember, Britt Baker was gone for more than almost nearing a year and a half to 2 years. She was out and she started having symptoms weirdly similar to a stroke as well. So she didn't show any signs of steroid use. Well, we know how Britt is. She's not like she's built like Jordan Grace. The girl still got this. She's totally curved out with big tits, curvy ass. If she had any type of steroids in her body, other than needing to take care of an injury, that would be something entirely different. People who usually do the steroids usually bulk up. She hasn't bulked up. So she's not doing that type of situation with steroids. Not like where it's always been a question, has Jordan Grace done steroids in certain cases? That's what a lot of people speculated because of how her body has changed. Look, let's make it very clear. Jordan was not a skinny girl. She was a little chunky, but she was a sexy-ass chunky. And she looked good for the size she was, but she wanted to be slimmer. Many people believe that she did some type of injection, and that is the way she looks now. In some cases, she's been trying to dial it back because you have noticed, even though she keeps herself in great shape, she looks like she's trying to get some of her features back as a woman, instead of a woman who's gone through possible steroids or heavy bodybuilding. For Jonathan Gresham, they didn't say that he's gone straight back to wrestling. Now, the one who left that on the information on the website, he didn't leave me the connection of where he saw it. It doesn't mean it couldn't have been valid, but it might not have been full updated information. It might have been partial rumor. I'm not saying that it wasn't valid or not, but I'm just saying that is what I found across 3 sites. That he had 2 strokes. They believe it's COVID-19. He's not going back to wrestling now. That was shown across all 3 sites. Not at all. Nothing said that he went back to wrestling within a few days to a week. He is taking time off to recover. And that his own wife took a picture of him when he was in that state, possibly like this. You never know. But this is just a gump goodness. Please leave me a comment below. This is the first of the first batch. I hope you enjoy it. Peace.